This video is a quick explanation of what the sustainability strategy map could look like. What we're doing is we're integrating the best practices around sustainability, performance reporting, and overall strategic performance measurement and management. So the idea is this: the best practice around sustainability measurement is probably the Future Fit business benchmark. This benchmark consists of 21 necessary business goals that every business must achieve in order to be truly sustainable. These are specially designed to be business-oriented and quantitative. Now, they link up to many of the other frameworks you might be familiar with, such as the UN's SDGs and so forth. So, from the SDGs, we can figure out what are the systemic threats. Therefore, what are the systems principles we need to achieve? Therefore, the business principles. From there, what are the specific 21 business goals that must be achieved? And those kind of fit into 5 core value creating initiatives and categories. So that's Future Fit. Find more at futurefitbusiness.org. The Balanced Scorecard you might be familiar with. The Balanced Scorecard was developed in the late 90s by Drs. Kaplan and Norton and provides a way to visualize strategy in a way that makes it executable. And in particular, we take a look at 4 perspectives. Our overall financial goals. To achieve that, what do our customers need? To make my customers happy, what are the internal processes we need to accomplish? And then underpinning that, what are the enablers, the organizational learning and growth elements? So one of the best practices that have emerged from the Balanced Scorecard world is a concept called the strategy map. Think of the strategy map as a data flow diagram that explains the cause and effect relationship between strategic goals. So we take these 4 perspectives in a strategy map and kind of layer them. So an overall private sector's organization's goal is to achieve financial success. To do that, they need to make their customers happy. To make their customers happy, they need the right internal processes. And to make those processes work correctly, they need the right enablers, what we used to call learning and growth, the right competencies, capabilities, and strategic assets. So that would be how we'd build a Balanced Scorecard strategy map. But we know sustainability fits into that conceptual framework of the triple bottom line. So let's think of this as one bottom line, the company. The second one would be society. What is it that the organization needs to do for society? And then the third bottom line is the environment. Now what happens is at each level there's the cause and effect relationship inside the business model, but between the business model and society, and the business model and environment. So the Future Fit Business Benchmark gives us some frameworks to work with. Remember, on the far right-hand side, I talked about the 5 initiatives. So one of those initiatives, or what I'm going to call activities, are around social well-being. What are the activities that the organization needs to do to ensure that the business does not compromise the well-being of local communities throughout its value chain? This is both suppliers and customers, and society at large. The business benchmark talks about customer well-being, which include all the activities that ensure customers' overall health is not compromised by the company's products, and that they're well informed about possible environmental and human impacts of the product's use and post-use disposal. It talks about, on the enabler side, employee well-being. Now, those are activities that provide decent, well-paying, safe working environments that are healthful, respectful, and great working conditions for all employees in the company's own operations and, again, throughout its value chain, suppliers and customers. On the environment, there are 2 major groups. One is the climate stability group, which are the activities that reduce or eliminate the company's carbon footprint by reducing its dependency on fossil fuels for energy and prepare the company's value chain for this future destabilized climate that we're experiencing. And then finally, security of supply, activities that protect and restore renewable and non-renewable resources, materials, water, things extracted from the Earth's core, and protect the ecosystem in which the company operates and its value chain depend. So that's, reducing, eliminating polluting wastes. So those are the 5 major initiatives. But in fact, each of those is then broken down to 21 goals. So if we take a look at the 21 goals, we can replace the society well-being with the specific goals: community concerns, ethical business operations, we pay our taxes, and lobbying. Customer well-being is replaced with goals 15 and 16, which are customer concerns are actively solicited, and customers are informed about any aspects of the products which may cause harm. Employee well-being is replaced by 5 objectives around health being safeguarded, fair employment terms, employee concerns, living wage, discrimination. Climate stability has a bunch of objectives materials derived from sources which respect the ecosystems, water, emissions, encroaching on ecosystems and communities, harming people or environments. Operations byproducts can be repurposed, and products themselves can be repurposed. And then lastly, security supply breaks into products emit no greenhouse gases, operations emit no greenhouse gases, and energies from renewable sources. So this breaks down the 21 goals into those 5 initiative or activity categories. Now, if we're actually building a strategy map and I looked at these objectives, I would slightly reposition them to look a bit like this, where we have several that are customer focused, a bunch which talk about our internal operations. So all the materials and operations ones would go here. I would tend to have one goal around employee well-being that is supported by 5 different indicators that relate to these areas, which are all closely related to employee well-being, and so forth. So these now take the 21 Future Fit business benchmark goals and split them into what we're going to begin developing as a sustainability strategy map. In the next video, we'll show you how this will work for a sample chemical company and move these objectives into specific strategic objectives and performance metrics, as well as beginning to add in the cause and effect diagram arrows. So I hope this has been informative. It's a conversation that we're beginning about integrating best practices in sustainability, performance measurement, which is Future Fit Business Benchmark, and the performance measurement and management best practices we've been building over the last 30 years. I encourage you to drop me an email or phone call if you want to talk about these concepts further as we're developing them as we speak. Thank you for your time.